Hello and welcome to my Sky Bet League 1 25-26 predictions. Who do I think is going to be going down? Who do I think is going to be going up and also getting in those playoff places? So let's just dive straight into my 25-26 League 1 predictions for the upcoming season. And we'll start with 24th spot then, and I have got, unfortunately, Wimbledon. I just think the league might be a bit too competitive for Wimbledon this season. Of course, the playoff winners of last season in League 2 over Walsall at Wembley. They did concede the fewest goals in League 2 last season, so they should be okay defensively. I do worry for them a little bit attacking-wise. 21 clean sheets last season. But yeah, I think if they can survive, which I don't think they will, it'll be a brilliant season first back in League 1. And yeah, they will have some good defensive resolve in there. So yeah, they have lost Josh Newville and Joe Tiley from wing backs. That might lose them a bit of width on the outside of the pitch, of course. But yeah, I still think they do look a bit jaded in certain areas. They haven't got exactly who they want through the door yet with transfer window. But yeah, 6-5, they are the favourites to get relegated. That's why I've got them in 24th place. So yeah, 50 to 55 points. If they can get to that, they should be safe in League 1 this year. And if they can keep roughly around 14 clean sheets, they will be good to go. But yeah, 24th spot, I have got Wimbledon. Unfortunately, I just think the league might be a bit too competitive for them this year. Into 23rd spot, we have Exeter City. They did have a decent season last time out under Gary Caldwell, but this time around, I think they could be in a little bit of bother, of course, because I have got them down in 23rd. 7-4 to go down with the bookies. That is not a reason I've got them down. I think they will generally struggle this season. They have kept some players from last season, but they are usually a selling club. They're fan invested. So yeah, Exeter, that is what they usually sell their youth prospects on for bigger money, and they will continue to be a big selling club, or Exeter. So that is how they make their money. They haven't spent a lot this summer. They've lost a few of their more experienced players this coming window who have been released or have retired. So yeah, I think they could be in a lot of trouble. They still have the experienced wing-backs of McMillan and Niskanen, but yeah, apart from that, and still got Josh McGuinness up front, who can be prolific at this level. But yeah, Exeter City, I can see really struggling this season. 23rd place for them. But yeah, let me know, Exeter City fans, in the comments where you think you will finish. But yeah, I've got you down in 23rd. Unfortunately, I think it'll be a difficult season for you and Gary Caldwell's man. In 22nd spot, I have got Burton Albion, just because I don't think the ownership know what they're particularly doing. Gary Bowyer is a good, solid, steady pair of hands for Burton and for a team like this in League 1, but I just don't think they're going to have enough to stay up this season. They barely stayed up last season and just got ahead of Bristol Rovers, who are on some absolutely terrible form. So yeah, they are 2-1 to go down with the bookies. They are one of the favourites to get relegated. They have Nordic owners, of course, and didn't really know what they were doing last season with sacking, was it Johnson, the head coach? Robinson, sorry, the head coach. Ben Robinson, the head coach. They were appointing a steady pair of hands in Gary Bowyer, and it kind of stabilised a little bit for Burton, but I just don't think they're going to be in a they will be in a lot of trouble this season, just because yeah, they've got problems off the pitch, on the pitch. I think they're not spending very much, but you could say a lot with a lot of sides down there at League 1, or maybe Northampton, Mansfield, who we'll move on to later. But yeah, in 22nd spot is Burton, and I have got them as one of the sides getting relegated this season. But yeah, Burton Albion in 22nd spot. Gary Bowyer could keep them up, but I just can't see it, and maybe the ownership might cause a few issues off the pitch as well. Into 21st spot we go, and it might come a bit of a surprise, but I've got Doncaster Rovers. I just don't think, when they've got promoted from League 1 before, they haven't been particularly strong, apart from when they finished up in like 6th or 7th with Grant McCann one season, and then they really did fall off a cliff. I think they've been yo-yoing for a couple of years now, and they've been towards the top of League 2 anyway. But they do have strong mentality, finishing at League 2 last season's 11 games unbeaten. Quite good for that. They did win the League 2 title last season. Grant McCann knows how to get sides playing in League 1, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think they're going to have enough steam in the tank, unfortunately, for Doncaster here. They are 12-1 to get promoted, quite highly to get promoted. I think they've done a bit of business, but problem is I do think they could get relegated this season and in 21st spot. I did have them surviving at the start of the season, but with what other teams are doing in the transfer window, I could see them maybe slipping into that drop zone. I think Port Vale could also be one of those with newly promoted sides, and Bradford as well. We'll get onto those shortly, you would imagine, as you can probably guess in these predictions. They've also got Demola Ajayi on loan from Tottenham, who scored in the Europa League last season. I think they might be all right, but I don't know. I just have a feeling Doncaster are going to get relegated this season. Prove me wrong, Donny, and their fans maybe as well. But yeah, I've got Doncaster down in 21st. Maybe that is a bit of a blunder from me, but yeah, 21st for Doncaster Rovers. Into 20th spot and just surviving, I have Bradford City. Bradford City did get promoted on the final day in the 96th minute with Ante Sarcevic's last gasp winner over Fleetwood on the final day, and the 24k in the ground of the Bradford City fans, of course. But yeah, they have been in League Two for 6 whole years now, before that relegation of League One 7 years ago. But yeah, I think Bradford are a very decent side at this level. They know what they're doing. I think they will just survive. I think they will have a little bit more quality than Doncaster, their rivaled newly promoted sides, of course. But yeah, I do think, Bradford will be okay this season. They might even finish higher than 20th in my eyes. But yeah, Bradford City in 20th spot then. And I could definitely see them staying up this season, and they do have the quality to do it. I think might be a shootout between them and Doncaster to see who stays up in this one. But Bradford, I've just got surviving. Into 19th spot we go. I have got Northampton Town and Kevin Nolan. They have been yo-yoing between English football's 3rd and 4th tiers, and I do think they might just survive another year in League One if they keep going as they are. And the Cobblers started well as well, with promotion in 22-23 and was stable last season quite comfortably. Done a bit of business in the summer. They've lost a few of their loan players from last season, so I didn't think they might be in a bit of a relegation battle this season. But yeah, will they have Lee Burge in goal still, and will they get rid of him and... because he's getting on a bit, isn't he, Lee Burge, as the goalkeeper. They've still got Sam Hoskins, but yeah, he was prolific for the promotion-winning campaign when they got promoted, of course, from League Two a few years back now. They've still got Tom Eaves, who carries a bit of an aerial threat up top. I think Northampton are 11-8 to go down. They're one of the favourites. I think they're going to be sucked into a relegation battle. Kevin Nolan did good work with them at the back end of last season, but yeah, a tough campaign could be in store for Northampton Town, but I've got them down in 19th, and they could be in a relegation scrap with Bradford and Doncaster. Into 18th spot, and I've got Mansfield Town, Nigel Clough's men. They started last season really, really well after getting promoted from League Two, but then kind of faltered a little bit and almost got dragged into relegation scrap, and I think it could be a bit more difficult for them this year. I remember they always had the stats, they could always create a lot of chances, but then they were a bit leaky at the back. But yeah, Mansfield's prospects do rescue on them, recruiting massively, improving the squad and trying to keep the rest as well from last season and maintaining the same level of performance, and keeping that 17th place is what their aim would be to do. But I've got them in at 18th place, lower than what they did last season. They need to stop preventing goals because they were they conceded way too many last season, but they did have good goalkeeper in Liam Roberts in goal. But yeah, I think Mansfield could struggle this season, but I don't think they will struggle as much as the teams below them, obviously. But I think Mansfield will be okay in this one. I think they'll survive for another year, similar to Northampton, 18th and 19th for those two sides. And Mansfield to finish in 18th under Nigel Clough. Can he get them playing some decent football this year? Into 17th spot, I have got Port Vale and Darren Moore, only because I think they will be the best of the newly promoted sides, just because Darren Moore knows this league like the back of his hand. He absolutely does. He knows what he's doing. They're investing quite a bit. They look to try and become a championship club sooner rather than later, and I think they will survive, and I think they will be quite comfortable in 17th place in this one. But I think Port Vale will be fine this season. They know what they're doing. They've got some business. They've got some they're 25-1 to go all the way to get promoted. I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. But yeah, Darren Moore does know this league like the back of his hand, as I previously said. They've brought in Jordan Gabriel, Liam Gordon, Jordan Shipley, Ben Waine, who are brilliant players and brilliant quality for League One level. They might have not have the best 11 to trouble the top half, but I think they definitely can build a solid foundation and stay up quite comfortably here. So yeah, Port Vale in 17th spot in this one and probably comfortably stay up in the end. Into 16th, and it is Alex Ravel and Stevenage, a very good defensive team last year, where Alex Ravel and Stevenage kind of left off what Steve Evans left from the season before he left to Rotherham immediately, didn't he? Yeah, I think Gianni got a whole 17 clean sheets in League One last season, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, if they can just add a bit more creativity, a bit more firepower to their 11, a few more attackers, and bring some more attacking midfielders in as well, I think Stevenage will be good to go. Maybe could even challenge for the playoffs. But yeah, at the moment I have them currently down in 16th spot, and I think they might struggle a little bit. But yeah, I think they will be more than fine to stay up in the in Sky Bet League One for another year. They have quite good foundations, a quite resilient back line, say, of Good and Gianni, as we've already spoke about. So yeah, I think Stevenage will be more than fine to finish in 16th spot this season under Alex Ravel, and maybe a little cup run in the Virtue Trophy could be on if they want to try and win that competition. But yeah, Stevenage in 16th spot for me in this one. Into 15th spot, and I've got Rotherham United. They had a really poor season under Steve Evans last season. I thought it was all going to click, and everybody thought they were going to finish in the playoffs and maybe even get the top two, but it just didn't peter out like that, did it? Rotherham were absolutely dreadful last year. I think they had a caretaker in charge to the end of the season. And yeah, I think they're going to struggle this season, really. I think they really could even get relegated to League Two. I mean, not that in the effect of quite desperately, but I do think they could be in a bit of trouble this season. But yeah, I still think they will have a solid season just with the squad they've got. I think they've still got Sam Nombit who can still fire their goals in for Rotherham United this season. So yeah, I think they will be okay. But yeah, I think Rotherham, I don't know, 5-1 to get relegated. They could be one of the favourites to get relegated. But yeah, it would not surprise me if they were in a bit of trouble next season. But yeah, it's a shame because Rotherham were a championship side a few years ago, and now they could be battling the scraps of relegation in Sky Bet League One. As I say, that I don't think they will be. I think they'll be comfortably lower mid-table around the Stevenage area with Alex Ravel's side. So yeah, Rotherham into 15th spot, and yeah, just above Stevenage. So yeah, Rotherham in 15th. In 14th place, I have got Peterborough United and Darren Ferguson. I think they had a really poor season last season, although they did retain the EFL Trophy against Birmingham in that final at Wembley, of course. So yeah, they finished from 23-24 from 4th and all the way down back to 18th, and they were floating around with relegation for quite a while, were Peterborough United. But yeah, they have lost Kwame Poku, they've lost Emmanuel Fernandez, Hector Cipriano, Malik Mothersill, and Ricky J. Jones as well. But hopefully, for their sake, their younger players can start to step it up a little bit more and start playing a bit better, as they should have a bit more potential in them and should get better through the years up will Peterborough. But yeah, I think 11-1 to get promoted, 33-1 to win the league. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near that. But yeah, while the age profiles are quite low of Peterborough United, you would expect them to hopefully to kick on a little bit more for the upcoming season. Yeah, the squad should develop, and Darren Ferguson usually has a bit of a side of a resilience and defensive nature about it. But yeah, I think Peterborough will be okay this season quite comfortably. That's why I've got them in 14th. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near relegation or anywhere near the playoffs. But yeah, I've got them in 14th, around that mid-table area for Peterborough United this season. Into 13th spot, and I have Wigan Athletic. Ryan Lowe is the only reason I have Wigan this high up, just because he's a safe pair of hands in this league. He's got a really good CV. He's got promoted in League Two with Bury and Plymouth, and leading on onto Plymouth with great things, of course, with Stephen Schumacher in the Championship. He's also managed Preston North End in the Championship. So yeah, he's got a very good CV record, and he's very good at this level and knows what he is doing. They could be a bit of dark horses, could Wigan Athletic this season. I still think, and I still know they have ownership issues of their own. I think it's been since COVID they've had their own ownership issues. They've swapping Sean Maloney for Ryan Lowe was definitely the right thing to do. I don't think Sean Maloney, he was there for years. He didn't really create anything good toward. I think they are 10 to 1 to get promoted are Wigan. But yeah, I think they could have a few issues if anything off the pitch goes horribly wrong for them. But yeah, I think they've also signed Costello, joining permanently from Burnley. And after brilliant low spells at Accrington and Northampton, they've also kept hold of Sam Tickle, the goalkeeper, Will Emerson, Jason Kerr in defence, and Matt Smith and Baba Adiko. So yeah, Wigan in 13th spot, and I think they'll be fine with Ryan Lowe in charge this season. Into the top half we go, and I have got Lincoln City in 12th position. Michael Scabala's side, he's had a really good first 18 months as Lincoln City manager. He's got establishing himself as one of the most advanced and technical coaches in the EFL. The Imps have been one of the form sides since 23-24, missing narrowly on the playoffs to Barnsley in 23-24. And then another top half finished last season under Michael Scabala, ending their last campaign quite well of 24-25. They'll be looking to bring in a few more players before the transfer window does close, of course. But yeah, I've got Lincoln in 12th spot. They are also 12 to 1 to get promoted. I doubt they will get promoted under Michael Scabala. If they can get another 14 to 18 points, they will be fine and they will be in the playoffs quite comfortably. Can they get that this season? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, 12th spot, I've got another solid foundation season for Lincoln City and Michael Scabala's side. 11th spot now, and it's Colin Hurahan and his Barnsley side. Barnsley don't know whether be ambitious or realistic coming into this season, because you never know what you're going to get with the Barnsley side the last couple of years in League One. From what we know, 15-2 for the bookies for them to get promoted this season. They've got the likes of Kelechi Nwukwali, who is... well, he's peaked his age at 27 now, was included in Nigeria's squad for the Africa Cup of Nations a few years ago. So there's definitely quality in that side. They've also signed, they have got Kyron Lofthouse, Georgie Gent. They've got new contracts from Kieran Flavel and Jonathan Bland as well. Fabio Yalau they have signed as well. I think he was playing for the Portugal under-19. So yeah, they've got a young upcoming squad. Do Barnsley now. Colin Hurahan is probably the right coach for that. I'm not sure how he's going to fare as a coach. He could be sacked by October. He could last the full season. We don't really know. It's a bit of an unexpected journey, this one. But yeah, I've got Barnsley in 11th spot. They'll either be flirting around the playoffs or they won't be. They'll be mid-table and not really going anywhere. But yeah, I think Barnsley are just going to miss out in the playoffs, and I've got them in 11th spot here. Into 10th spot we go, and it is Steve Bruce, of course, and his Blackpool side. Very good coach last season, stabilised Blackpool. I think they were going down with Neil Critchley in charge, and they were having all sorts of problems, weren't they? Yeah, flip side of that, though, for Steve Bruce's Blackpool is that he has managed in the top 2 leagues of English football, so he definitely knows what he's doing at this level and is very experienced. They drew too many games last year, unfortunately, for them to not be in the playoffs. Last year were the Seasiders. They've got Sonny Carey and Rob Apter, who have gone to Charlton, and on-loan defender Ophir will also be gone, of course, because he was on loan. They have signed Niall Ennis, who has returned permanently. So that is good news for Blackpool fans. But yeah, I think they're going to need a few more draws to get in the a few more wins, to get in the playoffs, and less draws to get into that top 6. They did have Players Player of the Season, Ollie Casey, of course. Well, he was main player. Good left back in James Husband, who's been around the blocks for Blackpool. He's been up and down through the Championship years as well, so he is very experienced. Blackpool are 4 to 1 to get promoted. So they have also signed Fravizoli. They've got Heckway from Sheffield Wednesday and Horsfall as well. So yeah, Blackpool 4 to 1 to get promoted with Steve Bruce in charge. I've got them in 10th spot. Now in 9th spot, we do have Reading Football Club. The end of Dai Young's ownership at Reading has finally come to an end. I know I did put them in my worst run clubs in the UK right now, but yeah, they have started to stabilise a little bit. They still probably are one of the worst run clubs, unless something starts to kick into gear and they start spending all the cash all at once. So yeah, they haven't got going yet. Reading, they can't really sign any players. But they've got Rob Couhig now as their new owner, of course, from the US. Hopefully, they'll be looking to spend a bit of cash before the transfer window closes. But of course, it is going to be very difficult for a club like Reading to spend with what has gone on with Dai Young in the past. They have kept hold of Lewis Wing, the main midfielder for them, who's pretty good. I think he is actually a championship level midfielder. But Reading have done well to keep hold of him. They are 11-2 to get promoted. I doubt they will. Tyler Binden's gone back to Nottingham Forest, and Benga's gone to QPR. They've lost a lot of players, which is to be expected. So yeah, Reading 11-2 to get promoted, as I say. But yeah, I think they'll be okay. They might scrape the playoffs if they are lucky. So yeah, hopefully Rob Couhig and Reading can start spending sooner rather than later. And yeah, Reading in ninth spot. I think it'll be a solid foundation season for them, and then they can build next season, maybe push the playoffs and the championship maybe. 8th spot now, and I have got Wycombe Wanderers just missing out on the playoffs. This is where they were when Mike Dodds took over. They were around 8th, 9th place in the table. They did drop off big time and eventually lost out to Wrexham in that automatic top 2 race. I think Matt Bloomfield would have got them promoted if he didn't leave for Luton Town. Look how that backfired on him. Last season, they did finish it in 5th. Yeah, did fall off, as I previously stated. Third highest in the club's history before. Yeah, Matt Bloomfield did really well there. He's now at Luton. We'll speak about them soon, as you could probably guess where I've put them. Yeah, they'll be looking to get a few more wins this season, get some better performances, and maybe just challenge for the playoffs in general. They'll be hoping to get in the playoffs and probably win them this time, but I do see them missing out just because I just think they've still got Richard Kone, but I do think they might be in a bit of trouble. They couldn't really do a lot. They had Birmingham last time out in the league. They've also got Luton, Huddersfield, Plymouth and Cardiff in there as well this season. So yeah, it could be really, really hard for Wycombe to get out of this league once again, similar to Stockport County probably as well. So yeah, Wycombe will be looking to finish inside the playoffs. They definitely are. I could definitely see Mark Dodds lose his job if things don't start well. But yeah, I've got Wycombe in 8th and just narrowly missing out on those playoff places. And then just missing out on the playoffs, I have got Stephen Schumacher's Bolton Wanderers. Yeah, they started really well when Schumacher came in after the horrible Ian Everett reign that got really nasty towards the end of his reign, didn't it? They brought in Stephen Schumacher, who was a good coach. He got him some nicely managed bouts, beat Birmingham 3-1 in one of the notable results of last season. They were looking to do a lot better with Bolton Wanderers this season, probably try and finish in and around the playoffs. I just have them missing out. I think there are 6 better teams in this league than Bolton, unfortunately. But yeah, they will be looking to secure up another playoff spot in League One. I think Stephen Schumacher is a good coach for this level. Of course, got Plymouth out, but we need to see what he can do with Bolton Wanderers first. It did look okay when he came in, but yeah, they did falter towards the end of the season. Maybe they weren't playing correctly or properly for him. But yeah, Bolton are one of the favourites to go up. Actually, 11-1. Actually, it's not that bad, to be fair. But they do have a lot of fresh legs coming through the door. I do have John McAtee, George Johnson, Chris Farina, Josh Sheehan, Aaron Morley. Some brilliant players in there for Bolton and Schumacher to work with. They've signed Teddy Sharman Lowe and Cozy Dewsbury, who are also some decent signings as young English prospects. So yeah, I've got Bolton up in 7th, just narrowly missing out on the playoffs under Stephen Schumacher this year again. Into 6th spot, I have got, actually, might come a bit of a surprise, but I have Richie Wellens and his Leyton Orient side. They're well organised last year, only coming up trumps to Nathan Jones and Charlton in the playoff final last year by a 0-0 win in what was a very tight game. Yeah, I think Leyton Orient can be proud of what they did last season. I think Richie Wellens is a top coach at this level, and he's shown it before, hasn't he? Like last season, a few seasons ago as well. So yeah, I think this is going to be quite a decent season for Leyton Orient. Loss of Galbraith might be an issue. Ethan Galbraith, who has got a few issues himself. So yeah, I think Leyton Orient, I think they just will scrape the playoffs. I think they'll continue that good form on from last year. They've kept a few decent players that they had from last season. Still got Aguiar. I think they've lost Kelman and Donnelly, though, who were on loan. Just correct me, Leyton Orient fans, in the comments if I have missed that. But they are 9-1 to get promoted. They are still one of the favourites to get into the playoff places. So, yeah, I've got Leyton Orient in 6th and just getting into the playoffs ahead of the likes of Bolton, Reading, Wycombe. Into 5th we go, and I have put Cardiff City in there. A few financial issues off the pitch is causing Cardiff a bit of trouble, and that is mainly the reason they got relegated last season from the Championship. I think they were down in bottom in the end. Yeah, neglect owner Vincent Tan, chairman Mehmet Dalman. They do need some new owners. Do Cardiff City. Relegation last season followed the top half, finished the year before with Errol Bullitt in charge, and then they got relegated after a horrible season with Omar Risa in charge. Didn't Cardiff 8-1 to get promoted? I don't really see that, to be honest. I mean, I think Cardiff will lose in the playoffs eventually. I think they have a good enough squad to get in the playoffs just because of how weak some of the League One sides are. I know I've said it's been competitive, but I think the 3 promoted sides will be 3 relegated sides, or it will be quite strong. So yeah, that's where I've got Cardiff in 5th position. So yeah, they've got 8-1. They'll hopefully want to do better than that. They've still got Perry and G. They've got Ryan Wintle in midfield. They've got some decent players I think they've kept hold of. But yeah, I'm surprised some Championship players Championship teams will be wanting to come in for them. So yeah, Cardiff City up in 5th spot in this one, and yeah, I think they might struggle this season and only finish in the playoff places. In 4th place, we've got Plymouth Argyle, Tom Cleverley's men. Previously of Watford, Tom Cleverley, now managing Plymouth. We'll get to see what he is all about as a head coach at Plymouth this season. Can he get them bouncing back, straight back to the Championship? We'll have to wait and see. I think that was quite a decent appointment, going with Tom Cleverley. I think they still might miss out on the automatic spots, as I think there are still 3 stronger teams than them, unfortunately. But yeah, a much-needed shake-up. The appointment of Wayne Rooney kind of got them relegated at the end of last season. Miran Muslic came and did an okay job, actually, I think. And yeah, they had a decent end to the season. But yeah, it just wasn't to be enough, as the goal difference was too much and the points were too little. He had a positive first season in management. Decent job with Watford, I have to say. It was okay. Maximise the strength of that Watford team, probably. Former United midfielder, of course. But they have lost most of their good players due to Miran Muslic departing as well, like Nikola Katic, Maxim Talarev, Gayabi, Wright, Randell, and plus forwards Mustafa Bundu and Ryan Hardy. So yeah, I think they might struggle this season, but Tom Cleverley, I do back him as a coach, and I do like him as a coach. I think he could be quite good. Plymouth are 10-3 to go back up, and yeah, you can see why that could be. So yeah, 10-3 for Plymouth Argyle to get promoted in this one. So yeah, decent season I think for Plymouth, and maybe they can win the playoffs with Tom Cleverley in charge. But yeah, Plymouth up in 4th for me in this one. Into the top 3 we go, and I have got Stockport in the final playoff place. Dave Challoner's side just missing out on promotion due to against Leyton Orient in those playoffs in League One last season. They'll be looking for a better response. The Hatters have already had 3 promotions since 2018-19, since winning the National League North, and they've been up through the National League. Then they have gone through National League North, National League, League 2, and now they are in League 1, of course, and it's been brilliant what Dave Chandler has done with that Stockport side. It's better than Wrexham, in my opinion, what they've done, because they splash cash at it. Stockport haven't. They did lose on penalties to Leyton Orient, but I'm sure Dave Chandler will want them to bounce back this season in League 1 and get them back to the Championship sooner rather than later. 14-1 to get promoted, and winning can be a habit if you continue to win, and that's what Stockport did last season in League 1 and almost did get promoted out of it. Yeah, they've still got decent players like Wootton up front of Laffy. I think Laffy actually left. Still got Ollie Norwood, who is very, very experienced at this level. Corey Adai in net as well. So yeah, Stockport I've got up in 3rd, and now we jump into my final 2. Which way can you have it? Guess it round? You have to find out in a few seconds time. Into 2nd spot, and you probably guessed it, it was Huddersfield Town. Huddersfield Recently signing Alfie May from Birmingham. They were also interested in Mark Leonard as well. But Lee Grant as manager does concern me a little bit. If he can be a good manager, then I don't see why Huddersfield don't get promoted, to be honest. They should be absolutely brilliant to get promoted, good to go to get promoted, sorry. Yeah, the Terriers, they came down to second tier. They didn't have a great season last season. Michael Duff was in charge and they sacked him, and then Jonathan Worthington, the caretaker boss, seeded out from, I think, February, March onwards from there. They have signed Owen Goodman, centre-back Josh Feeney arrived on loan from Crystal Palace and Aston Villa respectively, after starring in League 2 and League 1 with Wimbledon and Shrewsbury. They have signed Joe Lowe, Jack Watmer, Sean Braun, Murray Wallace, also Alfie May. They're also looking at Mark Leonard, as I've previously stated. But yeah, Lee Grant is a bit of a dodgy appointment for Huddersfield Town. Won't criticise it until he starts losing games. But yeah, I think Huddersfield will be quite good this year, and I think Lee Grant actually might get cooking something up and cook up a storm and maybe get Huddersfield back to the Championship in the second season of Asking. Yep, and you guessed it. First place, Luton Town. Matt Bloomfield did an incredible job with Wycombe before he left for Luton Town. Tried to keep them up, nearly did, but it wasn't to be enough in the end. And Luton Town are, in fact, they should get. They've got parachute payments still from the Premier League, including in this back-to-back relegations. They also get money from the Championship as well. So yeah, Luton should be good to go. They should be easily promoted. Will Luton here today, 7-2 to be outright winner, 11-10 to be all right. No, that's promotion. 11-10, 7-2 to be the outright winner. They are clear favourites, day and night to be favourites in this one. Mark McGuinness, they've kept Nigel Longvike, Liam Walsh in midfield, Jordan Clark as well, and Elijah Adebayo are all top players at this level, really, for Luton Town, and that's why I've just got them and in top spot, and I think they'll be fine. They'll easily get promoted. Will Luton Town in this one, and yeah, they're going to absolutely walk the league, probably similar to Birmingham last season. Not as bad, but I think they will still get promoted quite comfortably. So yeah, Luton Town in first place, and that is my League 1 25-26 predictions complete. So just a quick roundup then of my predictions, and we'll just go bottom to top as we always do. 24th, I have got Wimbledon, just don't think they're going to be able to cope with it. Exeter 23rd, Burton 22nd, Doncaster 21st. Maybe Doncaster, I could have moved up a few spots. That'll probably bug me at the end of the season. 20th, I have Bradford just surviving, Northampton in 19th, Mansfield in 18th with Nigel Clough at the helm. Port Vale in 17th, Darren Moore loads the league. They should stay up quite convincingly, you would imagine. Stevenage in 16th, Rotherham in 15th. Two sides that have had Steve Evans as manager in the past. I think they'll finish quite close to each other next season, or this season. Peterborough 14th, Wigan 13th, steady pair of hands in Ryan Lowe. Yes, they've got off the pitch issues, but they should be good. Lincoln in 12th, and Michael Squala, very good coach at this level. Barnsley in 11th, not really much to say, mid-table mediocrity for Barnsley. Blackpool, Steve Bruce 10th, should be good. Reading in 9th, Wycombe in 8th, Bolton in 7th, just missing out with Stephen Schumacher. 6th place, Leyton Orient, which he will as top coach, so that's why I back them to be in the top 6 for another year. Cardiff in 5th, yes, they've got off the pitch issues, but still have quality over some of the sides behind them. Plymouth in 4th with Tom Cleverley, I rate him as a coach as well. Stockport in 3rd with Dave Chandler, looking to get back to, try and get promoted to the Championship. Huddersfield in 2nd, and Luton to walk the league as expected. Well, maybe not walk it, but I think they'll finish in first spot. That is my 25-26 League 1 predictions all wrapped up. Thank you very much for watching my League 1 predictions for 25-26. I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all of that good stuff, and I'll speak to you all on the next one.